Good morning. My name is Robert Burnside. I'm the Type 3 Incident Commander for the Miller Complex, and I want to talk about a few things today. First, I want to talk about the activity that people have seen and had a lot of questions and concern on over the last couple of days. And most of that fire activity has taken place in this Dutch Creek drainage. What's happened is we have this chunk of line that we've been unable to put direct hand line on due to the ruggedness of the terrain and the risk to firefighters. We just haven't been able to get in there. It was attempted once and was unsuccessful, and so what we've done is essentially back out to some places where we feel like we could hold this fire when needed, along the Pacific Crest Trail here and along Dutch Creek, and then we also have some contingency lines along road system further to the north. This fire has in essence been allowed to just slowly back its way down into Dutch Creek as we manage and monitor that, using air resources when necessary to check up the fire intensity. But what's happened the last 2 days is we had this spot fire here and the main fire, and those two burned together and burned this section out day before yesterday. And then that got established and continued to back down into Dutch Creek and backed its way down and then made a run back up towards itself yesterday, and that put up a pretty large column of smoke as this section filled in and was visible from quite a ways away. But in reality, everything was well within our containment line. The smoke blew back in on itself, and so really what it's doing is helping that fire come down to where we feel have some pretty good containment. And now at this point the weather's turned for us, turned for the better. We're getting much cooler, moderated weather conditions, and even a little bit of rain shower. So hopefully this thing starts to park itself and will stay in place, and we'll still see some creeping and smoldering, still see a fair amount of smoke, but we really hope this fire is kind of where it's going to be until we get a season-ending event that puts it to bed. So the other thing I wanted to talk about besides the fire activity was a little bigger picture. You know, people see this big red blob on a map, and their first assumption of this entire area has burned. It's black, void of vegetation, and it's really not the case. One of my other positions on a fire is a fire behavior analyst, and so I study a lot of the fire effects and fire intensity. And fires like this, even though they cover a large area, they don't necessarily burn it all the same. There's different intensities based on the heat of the day, the topography, the different fuel types. And so as fire burns across the landscape, it'll burn very hot in some places, it'll kill everything. And in others, it'll back through, it'll come underneath the trees and clean out the old vegetation, which really rejuvenates the forest and does a good thing. So as it burns across there, it actually creates a very mosaic landscape where you'll have black areas, you'll have green with black underneath it, and even areas that the fire burnt clear around and didn't burn at all.